What's going on, guys? Luke22S3 here, and welcome back to the 10th round of Season 3 of the career mode here today for the British Grand Prix off the back of a good win in Austria, our first win of the season, and getting back on track after a couple of disappointing results in this title fight between myself, Verstappen, and the two McLarens. Of course, at the moment, McLarens have brought some upgrades into this race. They're looking strong as ever still. So we got a 1-point lead over our teammate Verstappen, a 3-point lead over Norris, and an 11-point lead over Butler heading into this race then. So it's all to play for still in this at this point in the championship, particularly between the two Red Bulls and the two McLarens. So here we go then into qualifying, and this is going to be the first episode as well of this career mode where I'm using a steering wheel instead of a controller. So I've been practicing mostly around Silverstone and the Catalonia with the wheels. So I've managed to actually get enough confidence with it now to actually do a career mode episode in this, and the plan is to start from F1 2020 using the wheel anyway. So yeah, I've got a little bit more consistency with it now, but still not great. But I thought, why not, let's have a look, see how good we are with the wheel. And we're currently in P7, so well, our teammate's currently in P1, so it's not looking too good at the moment, but we decided to stick with it anyway, as we are currently a little bit up on our previous time as we go through the first few corners of this lap, and now heading towards the end of Brooklands, and then towards Luffield and Woodcote on one of my favourite tracks. This is, of course, on the calendar. Being British, it has to be up there for sure. But at the moment, we're not doing too well at our home race as things look. Currently down in P7, so we need a good lap here if we want to get onto pole position. Of course, Verstappen at the moment leading the way. He's currently looking good for the race. He could retake the lead of the championship. He'll be itching to get another win on his belt after losing the win on the last lap in Austria to us. So yeah, he'll be looking forward to getting another win. At least he's on provisional pole at the moment, but now we get a purple in sector 2, so here's a good chance for us to get pole position here. But Butler retakes pole position, so now Butler's the one in pole position in the McLaren. Of course, they look very strong on paper as well going into this race, so Butler's managed to prove that McLaren have still got a good car as we go around the last corner. Can we spoil the party though for Devon Butler as we go around the last corner to cross the line? And where's that going to put us? Well, unfortunately, it's not going to be pole position. It's going to be P4 though. It's not bad. It's not bad. We'll take it. It's still a good result for our first time on the wheel, and there's still good opportunities in the race. Only a 1.5 tenths really off pole position. Charles Leclerc 3 in P3 and Bottas in 5th. So Norris down in P7. He won't be too happy about that. And yeah, well, again, it's probably one of his better qualifying performances of this season, really. He hasn't really done too well. Of course, he's normally in the bottom half of the order for whatever reason. But yeah, so in pole it was Butler in second, Verstappen third was Leclerc, and fourth was myself. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a glitch in the in the screen, as you normally get with Upload Studio on the Xbox. And yeah, a long overdue update will be needed for this software that you edit videos on the Xbox. But Bottas is 5th, Weber, Norris, Vettel, Hamilton, Leclerc, Stroll, Sergio Perez, Fiat, Russell, Albon, Hulkenberg, and then Gasly, Giovinazzi, Sainz, and then Magnussen. So Renault's still struggling at the back at the moment, and yeah, needing a massive improvement. But here we go then to start the race then for the British Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix. Can we get another good result here? Our first race on the wheel, and we're away now, and it's lights out of the way we go. And Verstappen getting a fairly decent start, but Bottas getting a good start. We get a poor start. You can see we've got two more cars on the inside and outside of us as we head through the first corner, but we managed to keep the position ahead of both of them. Norris is in P6, so he's gaining a position off the start ahead of Weber. And here we go then, going through the first few corners of this lap, but we've lost the position. We need to gain that one back. So unfortunately, Bottas is getting a good start compared to us. So I thought my starts would be better using the wheel and no traction control and everything, but I was proved wrong almost immediately there. But Norris as well, he's looking interested in us as well, so he needs to get past us. He's currently 3 points behind us in the standings, so it's really all to play for. It's all so close. It would be a thrilling season if this was like a real life, because Butler, he's had a bit of bad luck. He's a few 11 points behind us now, and we need to see what he can do in the next few races as well, because he needs to claw back that everything he's lost, and he's done everything he's needed to do in qualifying by getting pole position, and he just needs to keep that in the race because Verstappen's going to be all over him at the moment. As you can see, just ahead, he is behind him, and now we've got Norris behind us as well. So the two McLarens look like they're going to be fighting the two Red Bulls at the moment in this race. We've just got the Mercedes and Bottas and the Ferrari Leclerc, who's in a very bad Ferrari at the moment. It's almost a mid-table car, so Leclerc's doing wonders in that Ferrari in qualifying. He actually was doing alright in the championship at one point, but I think at a certain stage he started to fade away because that Ferrari's just not up to it at the moment. But Butler then leading the race after one lap. Norris almost looking interested in making a move into the first corner there. So you saw the proximity arrows shift a little bit and it got a little bit red. But there we go. We've managed to get into P5 then, which could be worse. We've still got a lot to play for in this race. We've got 12 laps left, and we've got to see if we can get close enough to Valtteri Bottas anytime soon. But moving on into the end of lap 2 then, and the start of lap 3, DRS is now enabled, and Norris is already looking very interested to overtake us, but of course there's just no way you're going to get past in turn 1 unless you're massively quicker than that one car, and he ended up backing out of it as he should have. But Bottas then following Leclerc, and yeah, we didn't get too good of an exit there, a little bit too much too excited on the power, as you probably see a lot, to be fair, if we continue to use the wheel in this career mode until the end of it. But there we go. Now we following Bottas, Leclerc, they're fighting with each other just ahead. Verstappen's taking a lead ahead of Devon Butler. So Verstappen taking a lead, which is going to put him at least in the head. Well, he's going to be in the lead of the championship regardless. At the moment, he's ahead of us and Norris, but a long way ahead of Butler as well. So at the moment, Verstappen will be leading the championship as things stand going into Germany and leaving Britain. But now our chance is to try and get past Butler and Leclerc as quickly as possible to join that party. And here we go then. Can we get past them on the hanger straight then? Bottas has got DRS, we've got DRS, Leclerc hasn't, so he's going to be restricted. Bottas goes to the inside, we go to the inside of the pair of them. We take past both of them as we go into Stowe. And we've got P3 then, up into P3 we go. A nice little move on the inside of two cars there as we follow Butler and Verstappen then, who's lost the lead then, as Devon Butler after getting pole position, so he needs to get that lead back if he wants to be in the championship fight, because the more the two Red Bulls get ahead of him, the more ground he's going to lose in the end, and I'm sure he'll be itching to get back ahead of Verstappen and be in that championship fight. I think if how things go, I think Lando Norris will eventually fall away from the fight between us three, because he just isn't doing well in qualifying. And yeah, he's down in P6 and P4 or P7 at the moment, which is not going to get him enough points as things stand. And yeah, he's just going to lose points on the likes of us three, who tend to be near the top most of the time. Although I've had a few accidents along the way. Of course, Canada and Monaco was a mess. Well, that was a mess for Butler as well, because we both, I think, didn't score in that one. And yeah, here we go then, through Maggots and Beckett's again. We're closing in on these guys, hopefully get close enough to make an overtake. But at the moment, Butler looks like he's going to be able to get past Verstappen almost immediately again. Is he going to be able to do that within a second, but we just can't get close enough at the moment. Trying to manage our ERS as well. And yeah, there you go. Butler looking to retake the lead then. They go side by side through Stowe. And now onto, I think it's Club or Vale. But yeah, through the last couple of corners of this circuit. And now around start of lap 5. I think we'll be picking up the end of lap 7 as well. So I don't know whether they'll be in at the end of lap 6, as we're about to find out now. We've got the fastest lap of the race though, so the pace in this wheel is good at the moment, but just a bit of inconsistency with it, which is yeah, something we're just trying to work on. But now you can see Butler still following Verstappen then, and still trying to take the lead back of this race as we follow. Now we've got DRS, but it's just not getting us anywhere near. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're just not quick enough to compete with these two at this moment in time, but we're close enough to still be there or thereabouts. So yeah, we'd love to win our home race, as would Butler, as would Norris, who's now got into P4. So he's doing everything he needs to do then to get amongst us. So if he can get away from that bunch now and get towards us, he could be in with a shout of winning this race or getting on the podium. But if these guys keep slowing each other down, it's definitely going to make Norris catch up if he can get away from that group of cars. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to be at least fourth. If you have a bad day at the office, you need to be fourth, because you can't lose any more points since the Red Bull and the McLaren just seem to be so good. But at the moment, Butler looking to retake the lead of the race as he does. Verstappen drops back down to second then, as we follow through to start lap 7, as they go side by side again. Look, we've actually closed up quite a bit there, despite those guys going wheel to wheel and slowing each other down. So it's actually helping us out a big time. But Leclerc is managed to help himself back past Lando Norris. So Lando Norris again will be a little bit frustrated about that one, to lose that position. He's got to try and retake that ahead of Leclerc, because yeah, he's going to be, well, going to lose a lot of time if he's going to be stuck in a battle between Leclerc and all the other guys. Bottas I don't know where he's gone now. He was just behind us not so long ago, so maybe that early pace that he sort of showed has sort of faded away in that Mercedes as well. But there you can see Verstappen going side by side with Devon Butler. It almost looked like there was a bit of contact there, maybe a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but there you go. Butler's still leading, and we're still starting to close in as the pit stop window's coming now. We'll be in the pits at the end of this lap, and hopefully we can go out ahead of one of these guys and get the undercut, because yeah, well, a teammate definitely won't be pitting this lap, I hope, at least. I mean, if they want to favour him, that's a perfect way to do that and just sabotage my race. But yeah, we're closing in on these guys now, so we're actually almost getting within striking distance. But Verstappen is definitely within striking distance with Butler, so he goes to the outside and retakes the lead before he gets to the corner even. So that straight line speed that perhaps we got on the Red Bull is pretty strong compared to the McLaren, as we go into the pits then to put on the medium tyres and go to the end of this race. And slowing down a lot, because we remember what happened in France. We do not want a repeat of that and having to try and gain those 5 seconds over a certain car. But following us into the pits is Lando Norris, along with a Ferrari. I think it's Leclerc, as Vettel's gone by as well. So we're going to put on the medium tyres, and hopefully we don't get caught in too much traffic in the pits and get out fairly quickly. And a little bit of the delay, but I think that's not too much to worry about as we get out of the pits, and we should be fairly good in this race. And now's the question of whether you've got the pace to get the undercut on Butler and Verstappen. We come out of the pits on these fresh medium tyres. I'll be a little bit cold to start off with, but yeah, again, almost a bit of an oversteer. Remember what happened to Grosjean when he was trying to come out of the pits there. We almost had a little bit of a repeat of that, but luckily we are 8 away. And moving on to the end of the next lap, are they out of the pits? Though they've had an opportunity to pit, but they haven't pitted, so they're going on for an extra lap. So this is a good opportunity for us to maybe get a better undercut attempt on them. I don't know why they're taking so long to pit. They could easily be out on the mediums right now, but it's a strange one. But I'm going to carry on anyway. Hopefully, if we can get a good lap this time around, we'll be able to get out ahead of at least one of them. They were very close together on the track when we went into the pit, so maybe they're slowing down each other a little bit more. But we'll have to wait and see when we come round after they come out of the pits, whether we'll be anywhere near them. But at the moment, there's still 5 cars left to pit then ahead of us. Giovinazzi as well in the Renault. So yeah, he started fairly towards the back, I think. So yeah, it's just how long the pit stop is here. And you see, but teammates just come into the pits now, and we're only going through Maggots and Beckett, so there's still a little bit of this track left to do. And yeah, we just have to see whether we can actually get close enough. It's a long pit stop, of course. So now we've had a pretty poor sector 2 though. So yeah, it doesn't look too favourable at the moment, but hopefully those tyres are getting a little bit old. Maybe they'll go even slower. So we'll have to see as we come around the last couple of corners then to start lap 10. We've got 4 laps left in this race, so if anything happens in the last couple of laps, it needs to be fairly quickly. So here out of the pits they come then. Butler on hard tyres, so for whatever reason he's gone onto hard tyres, but he's still ahead of us by some margin as well. As the bigger margin than what it was when we came into the pits, and Verstappen ahead then. So Verstappen still has the lead of this race, but Butler a little bit behind. So maybe Verstappen's managed to build a lead in the pits somewhere that we haven't seen. So there we go then. We've got 4 laps left. Can we get anywhere near those guys? Butler's on hard tyres at least. I don't know what Verstappen's on. I'd imagine he's on mediums if I'm on mediums, but I don't know. Who knows? As we come around then, Luffield and Woodcote, we've got 4 laps to see if we can compete with these guys and maybe get past one of them and have potentially a win on the wheel for the first time. First time using it in a career mode race, which would be perfect way to start. But now going through Maggots and Beckett's, we're closing in on a little bit, as you can see on Butler, but just by through those few corners, which seems to be one of my strongest points of this track, as we get DRS on the Butler with like 1.5 seconds at the start of the lap, so we gained at least 6/10 of a second there on Butler. As we can close in again with that DRS is helping us out and getting us a lot of straight line speed. So we close in on Devon Butler as we come around the last few corners of this lap to start the next lap, and there's still a couple of cars that's yet to stop. As I think it's the Renaults of Sainz is actually now pitted, but Giovinazzi's still in this race. He's still leading the race, I think. So Giovinazzi will be leading the race for Renault. As you can see, he's just ahead of Verstappen. So yeah, that Renault's really off the pace. I don't know why. You'd have thought a career mode that would have been realistic would be the Renault doing well, but I guess they've not done so well in the last season, really, if real life. But here we go, we're closing in a lot on Devon Butler. We set a purple sector 1. You can see Verstappen perhaps getting a little bit dirty air on Renault as well ahead of him. But now look at this, we're really hungry to get past Devon Butler with just 3 laps to go. Can we make it happen? Or at least get P2. It's definitely possible here for P2. What about P1? That's the question. Is it going to be a question of another last lap overtake on Verstappen, or is he starting to pull away? It actually looks like he is trying to pull away. Look at this. Look how close we are to Devon Butler. Almost thinking about making a move into Maggots there, but thinking a little bit better of it. So there's definitely an opportunity for the hangar straight as we get DRS open and losing a bit of time in sector 2 actually here. But there you go. Surely this is going to be an inevitable overtake as we go down the inside and take P3, which will surely turn into P2 as Giovinazzi pits then. So now it's just my teammate ahead of me, and the question is, with 2 laps to go, can we win this race, or can we even keep hold of P2? Is Butler going to try and retake that position? But Verstappen's on hards as well, so he's going to be slow, slower than what he should be on if he is on the medium. So it's a good opportunity for us, if we've got the pace still in our mediums, to win this race. We've got that extra point as well at the moment. So Verstappen will be currently leading the championship by 5 points, I believe, as things stand. Butler will be another few points adrift, and Norris will be a few more points adrift. So it was almost like at this point, it's almost like a battle for first and second, a battle for third and fourth. But they're still within striking distance, of course, the McLarens, and of course the constructors battle. That's going to be a huge battle towards the end between McLaren and Red Bull as well. So what's the gap between myself and Verstappen? Are we going to be able to get close enough on to the last lap of this race? You can see the proximity arrow is still there on Butler, but not anymore. And looking behind, there's been yellow flags. I don't know what's happened behind us. There's one car going slowly. It looks like a Mercedes going slowly, and it's Valtteri Bottas out of the race. So had a good start to the race, did Valtteri Bottas, but unfortunately he'd be ending it walking back to the pits. But here we go. We've got DRS now on our teammate as we're following him towards Stowe. And can we get an overtake on him on the last lap of the race? Can we get past Max Verstappen then? Can we get past our teammate just like we did in Austria? How upsetting would that be? If the last couple of races ended the lap early, it would have been won by Verstappen, at least in Austria. But is he going to be able to win it here? Because now he's just got 8/10 of a second of a gap between myself and Verstappen. So we're going to have DRS if we can stay within that second going on to the Wellington straight. That will keep us within the second. And can we make it happen there? Or are we going to have to wait to the hangar straight? That's going to be our main 2 opportunities. And we get a decent exit out of that corner. Is it going to happen here? We can see that proximity arrow of Butler still there. So Butler's still hanging with us. Is he going to be able to get back in this action? So what if we both collide and Butler still wins this race? So there's still many things can happen on this last lap of this race. We go to the outside, very close to Verstappen now. Maybe going into Copse, can we make that happen there? Perhaps not. We still have to follow Verstappen going through, and there's going to be green flags now. So there were yellow flags for Bottas, but it's turned green. And now we follow through Copse. Surely, if it's going to happen, it's going to be on the hangar straight. As we got the hot lap ERS, we go through Maggots and Beckett's. We're so close to Verstappen. He's going to be feeding it now. He's going to have to go defensive. Surely he's going to have to defend going into going onto the hangar straight. We've got DRS open. Is he going to be able to put us alongside him? Are we going to be able to take the lead of this race? We go closing the lap, and we go to the inside, and we take the lead of the race on the last lap again on Verstappen. He's going to be fuming about that. and a first race on the wheel. Are we going to be able to keep it together as we go through the last corners of this lap? And yes, surely we are. And winning our first race of this career mode on the wheel. No assist as well. So, disaster for Verstappen. We win the race. And ideal. 2 in a row. And we're in good form at the moment as things look. Which is very good. Very good for how our championship is looking. We're now leading the championship by about 8 points, I think, to our teammates. We've got another good gap to him there. It might even be 9. But there you go, winning our home Grand Prix for Red Bull. And I couldn't have done it any better. I imagine Verstappen wouldn't be too happy on the podium, but the same generic podium on this F1 game. I've heard there's going to be new animations on the next one, which is what we've been asking for a while. To be honest, the same animation since F1 2015. But there you go, we got the fast lap of the race. We won by just a tiny margin, and Lando Norris, he finished 4th in the end, so he did do what he needed to do. Despite having a bad day, he still managed to finish ahead of everyone else. And there's the championship. Then 9 points to Verstappen, 17 to Norris, and 22 to Butler. So it's looking like almost a 2-horse race at this point, but I'm sure the McLarens will be back in it at no point, no chance. But there you go, there's the constructors, and that's going to be the end of the episode there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one today. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon for Germany.